Today's sewing project is something I always wanted to do, and it's a line zipper pouch. I kept dragging it because I had a feeling that anything with a zipper is too complicated for me. But as the new year begins, I thought this has to be the first project for the year, and I did. I think it turned out okay, and I'm glad I did it. Come along if you are a beginner to zipper pouches like myself, and if you did this before, make sure to share your experience with us. I kept this as simple as possible without using any tabs or interfacing. Now let's get right into the project. Starting with our key material, it's a zipper. The one I got says it's 7 inch or 18 cm in size, and let's see if that's correct. Apparently 7 inches means the length from first stop to last stop of the zipper, and it doesn't include the excessive parts hanging from the both sides. Now for this zipper, the total length including those two ends adds close to 8.75 inches, and that will be the length of the fabric pieces for the outside and lining. You can then decide what will be the width of the fabric pieces, and it's totally up to you. Decide a practical number so you can easily reach the bottom of the pouch, and I went with 6 inches. All the fabrics I'm using here are cotton, and we will need 2 pieces for the outside. As I mentioned in the beginning, this is a lined zipper pouch. So we'll need 2 lining fabric pieces measuring the same as the outside fabric pieces. I have selected these purple polka dot ones as my lining fabric pieces and these pinkish triangular pattern ones as my outside fabric pieces. Now let's start the project, and the first thing is to attach one set of fabric, which is one outside fabric and one lining fabric, to one side of the zipper. It'll be helpful to have some clips for this step, but pins will work just fine. Use whatever you have in hand. Consider this as making a sandwich, and first lay flat the right side of the lining fabric piece facing up. Then place the wrong side of the zipper on top and align with the length of the lining fabric piece like this. Next, place the right side of the outside fabric piece on top and align with the previous two. If your fabric has a particular pattern, make sure it's placed according to that. At this point, right sides of both lining and outside fabrics are facing each other. Then we are gonna clip all 3 layers together and sew along that line. I'm gonna sew from the left end to the right end, and as you can see, the slider of the zipper, which is the big head part of the zipper, is located at the left end. Now this will interfere with sewing a straight line, and because of that, I'm gonna pull that to the other end for now. I'll explain what I'm going to do next in a minute, and for now let's start clipping or pinning all 3 layers together along the length. Now here's what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to sew straight along the line somewhat closer to the slider. After that, I'm going to pull the slider towards the other end and then sew the rest of it without any interference. Now let's start sewing, and I want to mention to you that I have changed the regular foot of my sewing machine to the zipper foot for this project. The reason is then it will allow us to sew closer to the zipper. Do a little back stitch at the beginning and sew straight. The most important thing I learned about doing this project is we need to take things slow. If you rush it, you'll mess it up, and then you'll assume this project is complicated. But trust me, as a beginner, if you keep things slow, you're going to complete this project just fine. Another thing is keep an eye on whether all 3 layers are aligned along the line while sewing. Don't let any of the layers, especially the zipper, slip through the fabric layers. Once you reach the area closer to the slider, stop the sewing while the needle is down. That way you will be able to keep things steady while we pull the slider. Now very carefully pull the slider towards the other end, passing a little further than where the needle is. After that, make sure everything is aligned and you can then continue the sewing. Do a little back stitch at the end and then trim the thread. At this point, one side of the zipper is completed and we can now move on to the other side. It'll be the same steps when it comes to do the layering. First, place the right side of the lining fabric facing up. Then place the wrong side of the zipper on top and align with the length of the lining fabric. As we already attached one set of fabric, don't get confused with those fabric layers when doing this one. Next, place the right side of the outside fabric piece on top and align along the length of the previous two like we did earlier. After that, you can clip all three layers together. When it comes to the slider, this time it's already in the far end. Because of that, I can sew close to that point first and then pull it towards the other end to sew the rest of it. Clip all the way to the other side and using enough clips will help you to keep things steady while sewing. It'll be the same as the first side. Do a little back stitch at the beginning and then sew straight closer to the edge of the zipper teeth. Remove the clips as you go and make sure all three layers are aligned while sewing. Even here, don't forget to pull the zipper towards the other end before you pass through the area with the slider. Continue sewing after that until you reach the other end. Do a little back stitch to securely end the sewing and trim the thread. At this point, we have sewed all 4 fabric layers to the 2 sides of the zipper, and now it's time to give everything a proper press before moving to the next step. Keep the 2 sets of fabric, each with one outside fabric and one lining fabric, spreading from the zipper on both ways like this, and then iron those 2 sets separately. I suggest you iron from the zipper end to the bottom end, so it will nicely keep a crease at the zipper end. This will help you for the next top stitching step. Turn over to the other side and press that side too. These small steps may seem not that important at the time, but in the end it will impact the quality of your project. So please don't skip these ones. After you have ironed everything, we can now top stitch along these 2 lines. Sew straight on the fabric side and closer to the zipper. This step will give you a chance to strengthen the zipper, and as we all know, we are going to open and close this zipper thousands of times, and keeping it strong is crucial. This step also keeps the fabric from popping up and getting caught in the zipper teeth in the future. After you have top stitched one side, do the same for the other side as well. When doing this step, I actually felt a bit of resistance underneath while moving the fabric, and I think it's because of the zipper. Because of that, I slightly spreaded the fabric apart and slowly pushed the fabric while sewing, and it helped. Now it's time to assemble the pouch, and let's see how to do that. For that, you need to align the 2 outside fabric pieces together and 2 lining fabric pieces together. But before doing that, there is one very important step you need to do, and that is unzipping the zipper completely or 3/4 of the way. Otherwise, you will get in trouble when turning the right side out. So make sure you do that first. Now let's get on with aligning the fabric pieces. As I mentioned earlier, two outside pieces have to be aligned with each other and two lining fabric pieces need to be aligned with each other. You can use a few pins or clips to keep everything in place, and I'm starting with aligning the bottom ends of the pouch. Now if you did everything perfectly, this step will be easier and you can move on to the sewing step. As for myself, there are some areas that are not aligned smoothly, and if you also have areas like this, don't worry, you can easily fix it by trimming those areas. Use your fabric cutting scissors or a rotary cutter. This leads me to think I should have chosen a fabric with a little bit more weight than this, like quilted cotton instead of lightweight cotton. Now that's my lesson from this project, and I'm glad I could fix it by simply trimming it. Next, I'm going to align the sides, and here is another very important thing to consider. You need to align the outer fabrics at the zipper, and the zipper has to be folded towards the lining fabric. Make sure those two factors are checked and then only use a pin or clip to keep that in place. Same goes for the other end of the zipper as well. Outer fabrics have to be aligned and zipper has to be folded towards the lining fabric. At this point, we are all set for assembling the pouch, and we need to leave a small space unsewn at the lining fabric area to turn the right side out at the end. For that, I'm going to mark 2 points to leave about 3 inches of space, and this has to be specifically on the lining fabric area, and you'll see why later. Now starting from one of the marked points, sew all the way around until you reach the other marked point. Do a little back stitch at the beginning and sew straight, leaving a ½ inch seam allowance. When you reach a corner, stop the sewing while the needle is down. Raise the foot and pivot. Then lower the foot again and you can continue sewing after. When sewing the zipper area, always double check to see everything is in place and adjust things according to that. As I mentioned throughout this project, go slow, especially when you are going through this zipper area. I learned so much from this project and I love to learn more on working with zippers. Having a zipper on a bag or a pouch is very convenient, and it's also very important when it comes to keeping your things safe. When you reach the other marked point, do a little back stitch to securely end the sewing and trim the thread short. Now before turning the right side out, trim off the bulky areas on all 4 corners. Trim closer to the stitches without damaging any of the stitches, otherwise you will make a hole in the pouch. This step will help to have a pouch with pointy corners without any bulky ends. If you would like, you can also trim off some fabric and zipper parts at the 2 ends of the zipper without damaging any stitches. Now it's time to turn the right side out using the opening we left, and that'll be the easiest and most exciting part of this project. First, try to pull everything out with your hands, and you can then use a small rod with a blunt end like this one to poke out the corners of both outside and lining bags. Do this before enclosing the opening. After that, you won't get a chance to poke out far ends. Now we are at the final step of our project, and hand press the unsewn area and keep the seams towards the inside. Next, we are going to top stitch along the area to enclose the opening we left. Do a little back stitch at the beginning and at the ending, and sew straight closer to the margin. With that done, we are at the end of our project, and you can now insert the lining bag into the outside bag. You can iron everything over to give a proper press, but actually I forgot to do that for the video. Give a little push to the two ends of the zipper from the inside, and I think this project turned out really good. You can use these zipper pouches to keep your craft supplies, pens and pencils, beauty products, or anything you like. I hope you'll try this one out and keep me updated on how it turned out for you. Please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you think these videos help you to start your own sewing journey. Thank you all for watching, and I'll join you in the next one.